Good afternoon. Hi, it's Maria Quattrone with Be the Solution. And today we have our guest, Corwin Jackson of Core Inspection Group. Thanks for coming on our show today, Corwin. How
Hello,
are you?
hello. Thanks so much for having me. How are you? How are things going?
Things are going. We
Yeah,
are doing everything we can to um, help our clients, help other businesses, um, take care of the first respondents and doing some things with that. But, we're all working real hard. I mean, I think right now we have to work 3 to 4 times the amount, I'd say the workload
yeah,
to
yeah,
get probably about half of the business done. Maybe less, maybe 30%. So
yeah.
4 times as much for 30% ish,
There you go. And
kind of where we are.
a
How
part of
about
that
you? How's your family doing?
family is doing well. The family is doing well. The kids are staying as engaged as possible. We're doing homeschooling. We're doing arts and crafts. We do.
Arts and
Um,
crafts.
yeah,
That's my
yeah. Yeah, you'll see some posts come up. You know, it's fun. You go out and you purchase like a model volcano, and it doesn't come out exactly like you anticipate, but it's still fun to do. It's still fun to do
Did
anyway.
it explode?
It explodes. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So it's the old sixth grade science experiment where you
I
make
love
a
that.
mess over the dining room table, and the wife is ready to kill you.
I remember when we did that experiment with the crystals. We made crystals. I don't remember how we did it, but something with salt and something, and these crystals formed.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
fun. When we had science projects that we could do and make things explode and grow. And are they having
So
are they having some fun with this, or are they?
they are, and just you mentioning that, home economics isn't around anymore. You remember all the different things that we used to learn and have fun with in home economics that has since gone away.
Right.
Yeah, but the
I
kids are
sell it.
enjoying it. Yeah, yeah.
We used to make
We
clothes.
used to make a lot of baked goods, like the pretzels and the pizza dough, just fun stuff, But there's also the learning involved that the kids need day to day that unfortunately they don't get it anymore. So, um, but who knows how much that is going to change even more with the new norm coming in
Yeah.
and where that's going to push us. Yeah.
How's your wife doing?
She's doing fine. She's also working from home, so that's just a new experience of both of us kind of being home, much more than before. It's just different. I'll say that I think I have been on probably we'll call it an emotional roller coaster since COVID-19. When things first kicked off, I was actually celebrating a birthday. I turned 41 on March 19th. So during that time, things were festive at the house. My brother was over, my mom stopped by, and we was kind of enjoying a drink and just kind of enjoying each other. And then things slipped into the shelter in place. Less work volume came in. We got into like the day to day of the kids homeschooling. So I think emotionally, I've been up and down. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I thought back over the last 7 weeks, and in the beginning, I was in a state of shock and not paralyzed because I was trying to make things happen, but we were kind of held back by the state, and we
yeah,
were just very focused on closing the transaction.
yeah,
And so I was in shock. Then we came up with some new ideas to be this Facebook Live, Be the Solution, the podcast, all the things that are coming from that, helping business owners, especially in our real estate community.
yeah.
Um, but that's period. Up until last week, I was in adrenaline. I would literally be, as soon as I woke up, I uh freshen up, get started right onto the 7:30 a.m. right into.
It took me a week to get there. I think initially, because the volume fell through the bottom so fast. As a team collectively, we don't spend as much time focused at the computer, really lead generating, building relationships. Our day to day is very, very different. Where typically our guys are hitting out the door at 8:30, 8:30, 9 o'clock to be at their first inspection or radon pickup. So when we didn't have that activity and just trying to figure out, hey, what do we do now? It took me a few days to really get in gear and to create an action plan. And I think one of the challenges with that was, from a national level, you go down to state and then locally, we wasn't sure how long, and we still aren't sure how long this thing was going to go. So it's just kind of trying to develop an action plan, not just for myself, but for the rest of the team, and try to figure out what the best action to take is.
So you've obviously made it through the last 7 weeks, and you're now able to conduct some business. Tell us what's going on with that, and how you can help, and what your company is doing.
Absolutely. So the first thing that we dove into was really continuous improvement initiatives, trying to figure out, hey, the things that we are doing, what's working well, and now that we're not out on inspections every day, where could we improve? So one of the first things that we looked at was our reporting software, the software that we were using on site. It's now set up where our guys are going to be able to complete 95% of that inspection on site, and we can commit to a next day turnaround for report. Before that, we were doing a heavy picture integration with the reports once they got home. That was tearing into family time and just creating issues. But we're a company that, when we launched back in 2014, we were at a growth rate where whatever was implemented from when we started, that was pretty much what we were rocking and rolling with. That's what we were using to execute our day to day. One of the benefits, although I use that term very loosely, one of the benefits of this work stoppage is that we were really able to put on the brakes to see, hey, what is it? What can we do differently? What's not working for us? Where can we improve? There is another service that we're going to be picking up within the next 2 weeks. We're just waiting on the liability assurance to go through, and you're probably one of the first people that I'm speaking to about it. So there are some chemicals that have been proven to kill COVID-19. And one of the things that we know will be helpful to home buyers, a lot of people, they're not comfortable with letting inspectors in their house, the sellers, and then the buyers are concerned is, well, what happens when it's time for me to move in? Is the house going to be an issue? Well, with those chemicals, there's something that we're using. It's called a spray fogger. That fogger can go in and we can disinfect the entire home. It's going to take less than an hour and a half. So you will see us start to talk about that a little bit more online. You'll see more information come out about it. And that's not something that we're opening up to the entire market, but only the other real estate professionals that we work with. If it's with a real estate transaction, we can go in and we can deploy these foggers. And there's chemicals such as sporiciding, Benefect, and there's a few others that the EPA has approved to kill COVID-19. So our thought is that this will be helpful in getting people more comfortable with buying houses, selling houses, and moving forward even during the pandemic.
That's a great way, Corwin, to be the solution. Tell me more about that. So what is the process like? So could you do my office?
We could do your office. So what happens is there is something called a fogger. The fogger is nothing more than an instrument that is going to deploy the chemicals in a fine mist solution, hence the word fogger. There is no there's no residue left after it's done. It's going to kill it on contact. The chemical that we're moving forward with is actually a natural solution. One of the active ingredients being thyme. So
What is
this is
it?
a scenario. It's thyme. It's an
Oh, fine.
that's yep. So this is a scenario where our guys they'll be wearing PPE gear, but we really don't need it for the solution that we're spraying in the home. They're really just using that gear to protect them from whatever went on or whoever was in the house prior to them entering.
What's the
Yep.
timeline for that? Like, how long does it take to do?
It's going to take them. It's going to take them an hour for a 2,000 square foot home.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Yep.
And then, so can people go into the property right after that, or how is there a timeline of no one can enter, or?
The timeline that we're using is an hour after we're done. But again, it's a natural solution, but we just want the time to be able to clear everything out. So that's the time that we're asking for.
So it's a 2-hour window. A 2-hour window.
There you go. There you go.
And then, so is this going to be an add-on service?
It's going to be an add-on service. So again, we are working closely with the people that we worked with throughout the years within our real estate transactions. We're not looking to grow an entirely new arm. This isn't something that we're looking to market to the entire public.
It's just offering another solution to the people that you already work with.
There you go. If Corwin Inspection Group is
fantastic.
there for a home inspection, guess what? We can also assist if your clients are not comfortable with movers coming into the house. We know once we're open to show houses, you're going to have a lot of interaction in the house. Obviously, some of them aren't comfortable with inspectors, appraisers. The list goes on. So we want to be able to show that whoever was in the house can be properly contaminated and made safe for your family.
That's great. So you're doing inspections now on vacant property.
Properties that are vacant and on a lockbox, clients are not permitted to attend. Referral partners aren't permitted to attend. What we're doing before the inspection is we're reaching out directly to the clients, because sometimes, what we've learned over the years is those home buyers are going to have specific questions. It may be related to the home that they're buying, but equally as important, they've had things happen in the house that they're moving out of. So they want to talk about those different things, whether, hey, I always noticed in the second floor front bedroom that area was a lot colder than the rest of the house. Can you talk about some ways that, we can correct that? Just different things that may come up. So we are having an initial conversation with the home buyers just to understand what their needs or concerns are. Once the inspection is completed and the report is out, we then have a follow-up conversation with that homeowner.
And so is this process longer now, or is it more streamlined? Like what?
What happens, Maria, is we're finding out that on the inspection, it's actually a lot more fluid, a lot quicker, because we're not, sometimes we get clients who are a little bit more inquisitive than others, and they ask questions that require a more high level detail. So when that client isn't there, we can just go in, complete the inspection. We're just rocking and rolling, and then, provide feedback or answer questions later once that report goes out.
Yeah, I would think it would be more efficient. Just like, even for, Corwin, even for us, we're doing Zoom listing appointments just like this, zooming around the house, looking at everything. I mean, before we'd have to go, it could take it, Philly traffic with all the construction and everything that's happening, half an hour because the streets are closed. So now, and then you got to park. And I feel, though, on the Zoom that people are more engaged because you can't really not look at somebody.
Yeah.
I was looking down like that. I'd be pretty rude. You have to kind of look right at somebody. So I like it. I always liked being efficient, but I like being more efficient. I'm trying to not trying. Every day I'm saying, okay, what good can come
Where
to
can
that?
you? Yeah.
Where's I hate to use it, it's so cliche, but the silver lining. Because like you, I had emotion up and down and,
Yeah.
personal stuff going on as
Yeah.
well, which we all have that every day anyway. It's just now compounded. And so I have to find something on the daily that, um, you know,
I was
feel good
really
about.
lucky that, and I need to call this person back. They're actually in I need to call them back and let them know what they did for me. But early on, when we were going into that work stoppage, sometimes just kind of trying to get yourself moving and motivated. I got a call from someone. It was at 8:30 in the morning, no, 8:45 in the morning, and I hadn't started my day yet.
Hmm,
And this
that's late for
person, yeah, yeah. So, and the person on the other end of the phone, she says, "Hey, I wanted to reach out to you because I was wondering what really aggressive business owners are doing in times like this." And for me, it really struck a chord because it helped me understand that people depend on you, right? I felt like I knew that people were expecting more of me, right? Than just to be kind of waiting this thing out. And for that was the call that I needed, where, this is where people are looking for leadership and direction. And I love how your show is titled, Be the Solution, right? So when that call came, I knew I couldn't sleep in late anymore. I had to get up and really get to work and make sure I'm communicating with the team on a daily level, and just really embrace the fact that, guess what, this is the new norm. Because as humans, we don't embrace or enjoy change, particularly once you've worked so hard to build something you're used to. And that's the only way that people really get things done. At some point, you develop a habit. This is what I'm doing from 8 to 9. This is what I'm doing from 9 to 10, 10 to noon. These are the things that are going to make my day the most productive, right? So initially, when some of those things were taken away from us, many of us had challenges.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had to go back, and I just wrote that last night. It went out for Be the Solution. It goes out to all the people and um, my clients and stuff and vendors in the database. And I talked about time blocking and like going back, because what we did before, is we don't have the same schedule, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
going back and saying, okay, let me time block my time as much. I know it's really hard for parents because you got to homeschool, but we got to take out like that 50-minute time block where you can, because
Yeah.
then you're focused and you're just getting emails out, making phone calls or
Time
whatever it is.
blocking is so important, and I know it sounds cliche, but one of the ways I've learned to really to get work done is, hey, if it's not on your schedule, then it doesn't happen. You have to really highlight the things that are critical to you moving a needle, or critical to you pushing a bar. So time blocking is critical.
And then I think also to that point, right? I think figuring out what are the most important things of the day,
Yeah,
because I read this book a long time ago, Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog.
I've
So
read that book. As a matter of fact, I have it somewhere behind me. Um, what's the nastiest, most disgusting thing that you got to do to start the day? And if you cross that off the list first, you'll be in good shape. Eat that frog.
doing the most critical thing first so you can get it out of the way.
Yeah,
And then kind of like you get a sigh of relief too from that, right?
yeah.
Because it's done, you put that to bed, whatever it is, and you made sure that, and it could be making a tough call, or it could be something that's really good too. That's, for us, it could be negotiating that offer, making sure that we know now. I reminded the team, in '08 and '08 to 11 was pretty tough
Yeah,
for a lot of people.
yeah,
Um, it was tough for us too. We had to work. a lot to get deals done, but we actually grew a lot then. But I said, from 12 to 20 to February 2020, and as the time progressed, things were it wasn't as critical to get that deal to under contract, the I's dotted, T's crossed, as important as it is today. I said, you could a little bit lollygag around. Oh, they're signing it today. Like today.
Because the volume was so high.
No, I need it signed within the hour.
We need to know. As a matter of fact, I got this from a conversation with you. Today isn't good enough. What time today? There's no goal. What's the commitment? You and I had that conversation. What is the commitment time?
How much by when?
Yeah, how much by when? We had that. We've had that conversation before, and it's right because we get so much, or I talk so much about goals, but to move the needle forward a bit, we need to say commitment. When is your commitment to having this completed?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's always about how much by when, because if we don't have an end date, in fact, to that, we just started using, I don't know if you know it, Monday.com.
Okay.
And we use Slack and they integrate. Okay. And so now all of the projects, so every day I have something else. They're like, she has something else today to add to the list, and as a business.
We were talking about Slacks before because you guys were using it to communicate, I think, for the entire team. You guys were using it.
Yeah, we've been using it for a few years.
Yeah.
Now we integrated Monday.com, and that's where the project sits. And you can put updates on the project. Like it could be revamp your protocol for ABC, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have like 30 things in there that we want to, get completed. And then you have a deadline on there, and then you have collaborators. So the people that are responsible for it. And so we go through that a couple times a week to see where we are with the project. Does it need to be, the deadline need to be moved? It can't be moved without approval for it to be moved. Where are we within it? It can all be updated in the system, but it's something that will keep everybody, it's accountability is part of that, right? You need leadership and accountability. And so like moving things forward, keep pushing, all the items to get completed right now, even though we're working on a lot of new listings and things of that, and selling things virtually, which is crazy, but we're doing.
It's crazy. And so what has been your client's comfort level with the virtual experience?
Yeah. I mean, every single, and I say case, that means like file, that means client, that means person. Every single one
is different.
Yeah. And it's customized to that particular client. Yeah. So if it's a vacant property, that's one thing. We have the 3D tours for everything, so that's great. Okay. They can make offers based on that. I'm glad to hear that.
Have you guys have clients that have said, well, I have not physically been into the property. It's technically sight unseen, although we did the virtual tour, but sure, we want to go forward. Are you guys seeing more of that?
Oh no, we're getting offers. We're putting things under contract that way. Yeah. I mean, we're a strong listing office, so we do a lot of, handle a lot of listings. Yeah. That's our main business. But yeah, we're working, with the buyer agent to zoom through the house, or, some cases the sellers are, they're not there, or they're letting the people, walk through. I mean, every single one is different, but I mean, I haven't been in a property since I think March 17th or 16th, something like that, around that, right around when the restaurants closed.
That's right. That's right where the bottom fell out.
Yeah, the last day I think was the 19th. Yeah. We had sent pretty much everybody home the week before. They stayed home, and I was there. I could work at my office by myself right now, but I choose to stay in my home office. No need to put lights on there.
You're going to save time and money. I know it's not a long walk for you, but you're going to save time and money by not heading down there. I remember we were slated to hire another inspector, and we were interviewing another marketing person scheduled for March 19th, and that's when we had canceled the day before, just with everything going on. So it was just, it's just a challenge. It's just a challenge. But one of the things that I've heard is that, teams that are able to develop and deploy new game plans when things like this happens, those are going to be the teams that come out victorious. I know you mentioned how challenging things were back in 2008, 2009. There's a few theories that I've heard about those times, or when things seem to get a bit quiet. And that theory is that, over the last couple of years, real estate has been a huge uproar with how fast real estate is growing, how fast the houses are improving on equity. So you get more people kind of jumping into real estate, people that want to be title agents, people that want to be lenders, home inspectors, realtors. The thought is that, hey, if the market does go down 25%, 20%, typically what happens is 40% or 45% of those professionals will say, the home inspectors that are also, they're a home inspector, but they also work for the city, or they're also a part-time teacher. Those are the home inspectors that are typically going to get out. And then we see the same for other real estate professionals, those lenders who may not be in it full skin, kind of in it part-time, that more of those guys will kind of jump out of real estate because it's not the hot ticket anymore. So my thought is that even if the market was to go down a bit, then typically those real estate professionals that are in it 100% of the time, if the market goes south, then they still have more volume to pick up because you get a lot of people that kind of jump ship.
Yeah, I mean, well, there'll be some of that in, I think, every industry. I think there'll be people, there'll be new people coming in from other careers. Maybe it's servers. That's a lot of people that were in the service industry end up being good real estate agents. I think that there's a lot still of opportunity.
I hear that a lot, like
for everybody.
Workers and teachers, I hear, or that I've known to become great realtors.
Yeah, I think in every market, there's opportunity for the people that take massive action. And I think, and one of the things I've been talking about, with our team every day is how we need to take massive action on the daily. And we don't know what's coming ahead. I mean, but you have to just put one foot in front of another, and keep walking and keep moving and keep pushing forward, and do your best to, you feel the fear and do it anyway. I mean, look, before this, I wasn't doing this, right? I had to come up with it. I wanted to do, and then people say, "Oh, well, are you okay with it?" I'm like, "Well, I've been having coffee and meeting people for 25 years, 26 years."
Yeah.
And asking questions, learning about what you're doing in your business. And how are your inspectors doing? How are they handling this?
So the benefit, or the good thing that happened for us, is that I was concerned off the bat, hey, how do we keep people on payroll? We certainly put in for the PPP loan. I'm sure as you are aware, many business owners, by the time we put in, those funds had already been exhausted. So the initial concern was everyone needing to jump on unemployment. But what happened as we were moving towards that effort, I had inspectors that say, you know what, right now, I'm just not comfortable being out doing inspections. This is going back to, we'll say, the end of April, early May. So I didn't need to put everyone on unemployment immediately, because I just had guys that said, hey, I'm comfortable just kind of sitting things out to make sure I'm not bringing back anything to my family, so to speak. And then we had a few other guys that wanted to remain on board and work. Those are the guys that, I've been working closely with daily for the continuous improvement initiatives that we've been talking about, kind of website updates, report writing updates, SOPs, work instructions, all that fun stuff. Now we have a team of 3 guys that are comfortable with going out to complete inspections. So now that's the other fun side of the game, is building the volume back up, right? That's letting our consumers, they're comfortable enough buying everything or purchasing a property virtually, and then the sellers, whether they're there or whether it's a vacant property, they being comfortable letting real estate professionals come in to move the transaction forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't really make quite much sense that you can't show a vacant property, but you can inspect it.
It doesn't make much sense.
I mean, you can go to Lowe's with 50, 100 other people there, but one person, one real estate agent cannot show one buyer or 2 buyers that live in the same household a vacant property.
So I think we're only one of 2 other states that did not deem real estate essential.
Actually, in fact, right now, Pennsylvania is the only state in North America that real estate is not essential.
Wow. Yeah.
So how can that be? New Jersey has more cases, and they're open. They've been open for a month. New York, many states are open for real estate.
We can get to New Jersey. I can get to New Jersey in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I can be there in 5 minutes in the car.
They're right over
2 miles from here.
Yep. So the fact of the matter is, we want to buy houses for whatever reason. People need to move. For many different reasons. Some people they need to downsize. Some people, the family is growing. There's a marriage coming. And they need to make a transition. So it is essential. It is essential.
It 100% is essential. And it kills me that we can't help the people like we should be able to help them in a safe way. I mean, we're smart, intelligent people. We know where to put the gloves on, put booties on.
Yep. Yep. So I mean, I'm sure as many other people, our guys, they go out, they're wearing masks, they're wearing either protective booties or they're wearing indoor shoes. And some of those things, like just changing your shoes going into someone's house, that's really second nature to us and something that we were doing before the pandemic started, right? So not a lot harder to put gloves on and wear a mask,
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal, and it's easy to do. I mean, look, we want everyone to be safe and to keep people safe. Nobody wants to get this sickness, and we certainly don't want to give it to anybody, but I think reasonably we could do this very safely, very easily. And there are real estate companies that are working right now. They have waivers.
Yeah.
Did you get a waiver, or are you actually
we did not get a waiver, so that's why for us it's only properties that are vacant and on lockbox. But you touched on a really, really important point. This isn't something that other real estate professionals that we're doing that's going to compromise a property or that's going to cause other people to get sick. We can keep the social distancing in place. We can wear the gloves. We can wear the mask. So with that, we're going to prevent that contamination from happening.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to groceries. People are going to grocery stores. I haven't even been in a store. I've ordered things on Mercado, Sprouts, Amazon Prime. I've been to
our supermarket. I've been to the supermarkets here. I can tell you, initially starting out, it was a nervous feeling. Well, one, you're wearing masks, but there was a point where, you're walking down the aisles and, Maria, there's no food. The entire, where the poultry, where the meat is, it's completely gone. There's no bread. There's no paper towels. There's no toilet tissue. So all those things gave me a nervous sense where initially I was going to 2 and 3 supermarkets trying to get everything that I needed in the same day. But the beauty is, guess what? The supply chain has caught up. So I'm no longer going into the supermarkets and it's vacant and the things that you need aren't in there and there's a million people there. So I could tell you what's interesting. If you go during peak hours, there's now lines outside of some of the supermarkets. I've had to wait for 10, 15 minutes because I think they're keeping count of how many people are inside, making sure social distancing is in place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed that they did catch up because yesterday morning at I think 5 a.m. I placed an order on Amazon Fresh, and it arrived at 7:30 last night.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Dropped off right at the doorstep.
Okay, so my wife did try an online order. It took them, I want to say 2 days. I want to say 2 days for them to get it to her. She wasn't happy, and with that, I have been going back to the stores. But
Mm,
to be honest, I don't mind at all. It kind of gives me an opportunity to kind of get out for a stroll. Yeah.
yeah, I went for a walk. Yes, not yes. Was it yesterday? No, Monday, Sunday, and Monday, and it was the first time that I had actually went out of the house for a walk. I went in the car for a ride, um, but it's strange.
It
I'm
is.
really looking forward to getting back somewhat normalcy when
Yeah.
we're supposed to be stay at home lifted on Friday. What do you think?
You know what? I don't think it's going to happen.
Mm.
I would love for it to happen. Um, Before the call, I got that same message from my older brothers. He wants So we have kids the same age. They're 4 and 9,
Oh, that's
four
like
boys. So they're used to seeing each other. They're used to riding bikes and just having fun, throwing the football. So of course, they are watching this thing, the 9-year-olds intensely, and they want to know when can they come over into Philly to kind of hang out. So him and I had that conversation. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. May is usually a time where the city is high energy. Where we're going into Memorial Day weekend and the weather is breaking, and you got people making their first trips to the beach, and people are just out and about being more social. And it's just a different feeling that we're in May, but we don't have that.
no,
We don't have it.
we definitely don't. Have you read any great books or any lately? I haven't had time to read. I had all these books. They're sitting here. There's piles and piles of them. I never had the time.
Yeah, I thought that I would get more reading done during this time. I haven't gotten more reading done. Some of the things that I've done was I'm getting more into how to create videos, how to edit videos, learning the different platforms, because guess what? If this is the new norm, you and I both need to figure out how to get in front of more people, and videos are probably going to be the way to do it. So I think for me, if I started to look at some of the things that I learned to do more or a little bit differently, is going to be trying to edit and push out my own videos.
So, you know what the best way to do video is?
How was it?
This is what I use.
Okay.
And um I have a gimbal. What is it called? A gimbal? No,
Okay.
not a gimbal. I have this other thing. It's a swivel. It's like a selfie stick,
I
but
think
it's
that is
over.
a gimbal.
Yeah, yeah. I
And if,
can't.
and if, it's,
I
and
don't
if
even
it's
use
not a
that.
gimbal, it's close enough.
Whatever. I don't even use.
Yeah.
I don't even. I don't even use that. I actually yesterday when I did the video, I piled a pile of books up. I put the camera like this. I leaned it against my computer and I talked into the thing because I didn't have anybody to hold the camera. So I just leaned it up against the computer screen
Okay.
with the pile of books, put it against it, and I did the video.
What about for editing? Are you
No
using?
editing. I don't, and I don't,
Okay.
and I mainly do them in one take. Sometimes
Oh, wow. So you're a natural.
I don't know about that, but I also, if I make a mistake midway, I just keep going.
So
I'm not
there are
trying to
some
be perfect.
features. like with our wording that's scrolling across the screen now, you can add the one that I've been tinkering with is something called Vimely because
What
I
is it
can
called?
Vimely, Vimely, because I can then add wording and pictures and stuff to the video. I can kind of edit it to make it a little bit more attractive when I post a video.
So if you just make the video and then say you do it, you're just talking and you're going
Yeah,
to tell a story. So
yeah,
two different things you can do. One, you can tell the story into the phone, and then you could take that video and send it to rev.com,
okay.
transcribe it for you. And then
That's
you put the
awesome.
transcription. If you look at my videos, you'll always see it's transcribed
Yeah,
with the video, or we write it in advance. We added it. I look and say, okay, I want to add this in, that in. We send it through this thing called Big View, and then I read it. I read what
okay.
I just wrote, and it's all. So it's either you're
I
transcribing
like
or
that because if it's transcribed, most people aren't watching the videos that come on. They don't have the volume turned up on here, meaning they can see it but they're not listening to it.
70% watch the video with the sound off.
Yep.
That's why you transcribing it allows them to know exactly what you're saying. So, and then you can take those videos and you can boost them on Facebook through your business page. So I have one running right now. I didn't check it today, but yesterday I had 55,000. It reached 55,000, and
Wow.
I had like 30,000 views.
Is that on Facebook?
That one
Okay.
it's been that ad has been running. Boosted sponsorship has been running since Friday night, and it's
Okay.
already reached 55,000 people. And then it shows you analytics, like who's it reaching? Men, women. It shows you cost per click through. So these are all the
Wow. That's amazing.
you can talk to the people, and it also kind of when you do it, it finds your people, it finds the audience
Okay.
based on the algorithm.
Okay.
So it's really cool. Lots of ways. So we've been doing all those. So because we want to reach more consumers, so then we have more eyeballs on our listings. So we're driving
Okay.
traffic to the listing.
Yeah. Yeah. How
And
much
it,
are you doing on Instagram?
this is mainly on Facebook. They do put some of them on Instagram as well. My
Okay.
marketing team.
So
Um,
that is completely my challenge where I'm getting stronger on Facebook, have not done much on Instagram at all. And I know we
so
need to migrate.
look, I would say focus on something. If you,
Yeah.
I have a couple people that work on this with me. It's not just me by myself, but I would say focus. We're on, we'll put stuff on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Okay.
Those platforms. Then we have Rise Real Estate, Maria Quattrone, Remax at Home, and Be the Solution, and Philadelphia Market Watch, and they all have channels. So we have like 20 different assets that have
Yeah.
right, but you don't have to do all that. You can just start with like one page and then just do the 4. You can even get a VA. You can write a process out. You can have the VA.
That's what we're working towards doing because all this social media it's so funny where you come on as an entrepreneur, whatever your core, no pun intended, but core competency is. Like if it's a home inspector or a title person, all these other things that you need to learn and that you need to get done, which becomes another part-time job, right?
100%.
100%, yeah.
But I can refer you to a couple VA companies, and you can interview. You need this basic process put in place, and then they go down every day. And the one thing that we do is the content is super important. So you can't I know a lot of people want to farm out their social media to companies.
Yeah,
It really has to be done in-house. You have to curate the content. You have so much information about the business. Like I just talk some of the time, and then it gets transcribed and we go that way.
So some of
Depending,
the things, so you are exactly right. We've attempted to do that before in the future where we just tried to say, hey, here's how many people we want to reach on a daily basis, and here's what our budget looks like, and then you guys run with the content. You come back and look at the content that they've created and that they're distributing, there is no alignment with the content that they're sending out with your brand. It
no,
looks completely separate and almost something generic. And some companies are better than others, but the one,
100%. I
yeah,
went to a mastermind in January. I think it was January's mastermind. No, it was whatever, a few months ago. And Keith Krantz, who is like this Facebook ads guy, he wrote a
yeah,
book about Facebook ads with
yeah,
Barry Marshall. So I'm with Keith and we're having dinner. And I said, I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm like, I need somebody. I can't. He goes, yo, Philly. Yo, Philly. He's like, you need to figure it out. You need to learn how to do it. He's
yeah,
like, I'm going to tell you straight up, the business owner needs to learn how to do this stuff. And I sat there,
yeah,
he's like, it's not what you want to hear. I know it. You want me to tell you, you call this person, call that person. But you, with your marketing team, need to figure it out. You need to figure out how to make it work. And the content has to come directly from you.
it does, because you want to control it. You want to control that marketing, the branding, and if not, it's going to be so far away from who you are and what you want the business to be that it's almost going to become counterproductive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think, and that's one of the things like right now, right? I don't know if, I did a seller webinar last night. We had some people attend. We're going to do one on May 16th again about how we sell virtually. And
yeah,
in the webinar, it talks about where the eyeballs are. So in January, there was 21% on social media people. February went to like 30. In March, it was 51. And in April, 78% of people are on social media. That's
wow.
where the eyeballs are. It's increased that much.
That's our outlet. Social media. Some people are binging on Netflix. But that's just where our outlet is as a people. And what do we do for any entertainment? How do we feel like we're still connected? Who are we still speaking to? And it's just our friends that are on social media that we can't see, share, laugh with, get a drink with, all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally missing that. Totally missing being
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
No, I was only in the office a few hours a day. I mean, I'd be there in the morning, do the meetings, meet with the staff, make calls, whatever. And then I was out. I would go to lunches,
Yeah.
appointments, listings, networking, this thing, that thing. And it's a whole new way of doing things. But I believe that I believe people are resilient.
Oh yeah.
And some
Oh,
of us, are quicker. Some take longer to adjust. But I think there's a lot of resiliency. We're seeing like a lot of people come together. And I know that people say we're all in this together. I think we're all in this together, but in a different way, because we're all at different points in our lives. And even on the daily, I mean, 1 hour, everything's fine. And then something happened. And this is like regular life though, right?
yeah.
Could be
Yeah.
fine when something
It is.
happens.
It is.
And I think we need to remember that, because there's always something that happens. There's always something.
I think that we're all in it together, but some of us are in it and almost taking a leadership position on what can I do to help, right? And then others, and it's either way is fine. Whichever person you choose to be, there's nothing wrong with it. There's no good or
Right.
bad. But the other side is, hey, what is available for me to get help? Or I'm just looking for direction and no one is giving me any direction. So we're in it together. But I think some of us are taking different roles, different responsibilities, just as we were when, prior to this pandemic happening.
And I think it's not needing to be right. I think a lot of times we always want to be right about something. I think it's understanding where people are emotionally
Yeah.
and letting them sit. Now, a friend of mine, she doesn't think that real estate should be shown. and she's in the business.
She is in a business?
She is.
What's her thought on it? Like, how does she?
Doesn't even want to talk about it. Doesn't want to talk about it with me. And that's okay. And at first I was taken back by that. And then I sat with it and unpacked it. And I said, you know what? She's allowed to have her opinion. She's allowed to believe what she wants to believe. And okay, that's not my belief, but I don't not like her because of that. Like, and I think that's a position that we've taken as a society, that if somebody doesn't think the same thing that we do, it's okay to attack and it's okay to defend. And it's okay.
Yeah.
And I had to sit back, and I've seen a couple different things like that happen. And, you know, and we don't know individually what's going on in people's heads either, and what other things are. So I think it also comes back to just being, you know, a better human, for being more empathetic, right? Having empathy, understanding people's points of view, and being okay with it, and it goes back to not having to be right. Learning to that there's a different way, and learning from it. I've been listening, even though I haven't been reading, I've been listening to podcasts and all kinds of stuff. So I've been really opening my mind to different ways of doing things and looking at things. And I think at the end, I think a lot of us will be, you know, maybe we're not going to be financially better, but maybe we'll be better humans.
So here's a thought. I know that, you know, we should be open-minded, and we should say, well, you know what? Everyone's thoughts matter, and I'm not the only one that's right here. But when it comes to real estate being deemed essential, I want to just stand on top of a desk and say, I am right. Real estate should be deemed essential. And here's why. If you look at some of the other businesses, consumers aren't looking to go into a movie theater right now. It's not something that they want to do.
No.
Consumers won't be running to amusement parks. Unfortunately, consumers won't even be looking to fill bars and restaurants. Unfortunately, it's not what the market is requesting, but people want to buy and sell houses. And there are some people that, you know, like we talked about, they need to, and it's been proven that we can do it without spreading COVID-19. So I just think is, you know, once we take on what the need of consumers are, and taking social distancing and, you know, making sure no one else is impacted by it, I don't see a reason why this great industry that I have grown to love and why it should be halted. So perhaps selfishly,
I do happen to agree with you. I do.
I just wanted to say that in case she was watching.
I am, you know, my position is that it's arbitrary, how it was done. There are people that have waivers. There are, if you bought a house on the 17th of March, you can look at houses right now. If you're under contract, you can look at houses. How does that make any sense?
Yeah, but
I mean, but if you sold the house on March 20th or 21st, whatever, you can't.
And now you need to buy a house, so you're now displaced or living in.
Correct.
There's people that are living in hotels now.
Listen, my dad's living at my house, so it's very, very close to home to me.
Yeah.
Because we can't get him into a building in right around, you know, getting downtown, right around the square, and it's a real problem. And in fact, we have a property that we had purchased and we were renovating, and we're gonna have him there, but it's not completed, right?
Yeah.
It just needed some basic things. I mean, cosmetic stuff. So, but nonetheless, let's talk about that's real.
That's real.
This isn't like, you know, this is not just us. There's other people just like him that are displaced, living with family members, living in hotels.
Yeah.
So yeah, real estate 100% is an essential. And
Yeah, it should be. And like you mentioned before, we're the only state in North America, so hopefully that'll change soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've been a pleasure today, Corwin. As always, you have such a great disposition, and I always love chatting with you. And I am happy to see that your business is running. We will reach out if there's anybody that we need to get some inspections done for. I'll make sure that Joni knows that you are up and running, because we didn't know till today. So that's
Yeah,
great.
it's been a moving target.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I also want the information about the
fogger.
the fogger.
Yeah.
As soon as you get that, let me know, and
Yeah.
we'll definitely get that word out. I'll even put it in my newsletter.
Awesome.
So yeah, we'll get the information. I'll have the team reach out so we can grab that from you. But I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I am thankful and grateful for your time today.
Always a pleasure. I know you're super busy and you got a million different people that's been pounding on your door just to chat. So thanks so much for taking the time and for having me.
It's great to see you. I'll see you soon.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.